Good morning. Good morning. It's happening. It's the portion. Brenda, we're here
I am
again.
so excited.
I
This
know,
is
me
the best.
too.
Hi, Misty. This is the best. This
I
is the
know.
best. I'm okay. So, can I just start this off? I mean, might as well.
Don't
I'm
say
just
it.
like
Don't
full
say it.
disclosure.
Oh, I thought you
Wait,
were going to say it's my
this
favorite
is
part.
my favorite portion. So, full disclosure, um, I am wrecked. So, anyone who read this Torah portion, I know that you are too wrecked. Who knew? Who knew? When did this happen? When did this all start happening here? Because I never ever knew. And it's just been one of those weeks in reading the portion throughout the week that every day, every little piece has just wrecked me more and wrecked me more and wrecked me more. And so this morning, this morning I just quickly looked at the word curtains, just very, very quickly at the at the word curtains. And the Hebrew word for curtains is the same root word that you get the word tremble from. It's like, of course, because that's what we need to be doing. It's just trembling before His Majesty. It's so cool. Anyway, I can just say right now that I'm like not even in preschool when it comes to this topic. Not even I'm not even on pablum yet. I'm tell you what, and the more that I talked with a person who is very, very learned in all things tabernacle-ish. And
As earthly possible.
as earthly possible. And her attitude was, you know, this is the majestic heart, thought, mind of the creator of the universe. So the tiny itsy bitsy glimpses that we get and we think we know so much and we think that we're so learned and all of that, it's just a tiny little piece. And it's not that you haven't studied and it's not that you haven't learned. And I'm not in any way saying that you haven't, but everything that we've learned is just a teeny itsy bitsy little piece of this big, beautiful, huge, beautiful um, tapestry.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Pretty exciting. Well, for those of you that are brand new and you did read this and you're like, I didn't get anything and I don't know what she's talking about. So I must be a failure because I wasn't trembling. I wasn't
No,
crying because
no,
there's
not a
been
failure.
20 years of me reading this that I was like, anyway, next. So each one of us could have a portion that just hits us between the eyes, right? It could just hit us
Right.
and we're like,
Yeah.
taken away.
Mhm.
We're in Exodus 25:1 through 27:19. And I just want to start out first with just a couple quick announcements. One is that we still have openings at the Purim conference. And when I say we, the Ruta Cafe is actually sponsoring our South African ladies. We are actually helping sponsoring the US part, just meaning that we're running the registrations through our portal so that you guys don't have to worry about paying South African money. And so we're doing all that and then everything gets forwarded back to them when we're done. But they still have seats open. I know that we have one of our very own, Debbie Franick, is actually supplying that oil package. And a lot of people don't understand, like, what the heck is going on? Well, I know that Halisa Alwine is speaking. And by the way, if you can't make it, I do recommend that you go to YouTube and look for her Esther teaching. It's like a 5-part teaching. It's a perfect time of year because we have Purim starting next week. And it's, we'll just leave that. If you want to study it, it's a 5-part series, really great series she has done on that. And so if you did get a registration, I know that the transcripts to all that are also included in that package that you get. What else do I want to tell you about that? You get an oil package. You can choose with or without the oils. And the reason for the oils is because part of the oil package is some preparation ahead of time to prepare. There's a whole preparation getting prepared to come into the conference. And then they have these oils that are unidentified, that during the whole process, they actually you'll be opening those up, smelling those. There'll be a time of meditation and prayer, and you let the Holy One speak to you through senses. And Anna Lee is gifted, and she's going to be that is her gift, and she's going to be taking you through a spiritual journey through those oils with the Father. And so that's what that package is for. So those of you who do that, and that's all at cost. I think it's $49 here. It is $49 in the United States for that package with the oils, because it does it, and that was at cost. That's shipping, labels, oils, bottles, all the things. It's all packaged into a little package you get in the mail. So it's still not too late. I'm told by Debbie today that it's still not too late for you to get in and get that. Even if you do it on Sunday, if you don't get to do it before Shabbat today, there's still time so she can get it mailed out to you Monday or Tuesday. Also, think about it's South African time. So I apologize for those of you who are listening right now later on this. You can fast forward. So, but South African time, it's going to be early for us. I know I noticed the schedule, and it was saying part of they're having me come in and do a welcome, and it was like 6 a.m. Well, I was like, whoa. So yeah, it's like hair and makeup before 6 a.m. and ready for, because you guys, the South African ladies do this for us all the time. And so we're operating on our schedule all the time. So we're going to operate on their schedule for this conference for them, if you choose to participate in it. What else? Yeah, and I know that the beginning conference will be really early, especially if you're on the West Coast. It's like 4 a.m. But I will let you know that we're going to rerun the replay of that at the end of the conference. So I'll be quickly downloading that and then rerunning it at the very end. Debbie Franick and I will kind of host at the very end of that on US time. South Africans will sign out, and we will rehost that first session so that you didn't have to wake up at like that time, so that you can still go through that oil and the preparation. And okay, so all that said, if you will get the recordings. You could do this on another day if you want. You could just have a bunch of girlfriends over and you guys all dress up and make it fun. You guys watch the videos together and do the preparation. So I do recommend it. It's a good thing. And then my second announcement is that this is specifically for our cafe members. And you will hear us say that from time to time. The portion every Friday is sponsored. It's one of our cafe calls. It's our Friday call. It's open, though. It's not just for our cafe members. We open it up to everyone. So it's not just a membership thing today. But we wanted to let those ladies know today is that next week we will be closing out our private Facebook group for just the cafe members. We will not be closing this group. Okay. Brenda, can you help me admit people?
I am.
Oh, okay.
There's just a delay on your side. Got it.
Oh, got it. Okay. They would be closing that out because we have so many platforms for you. We have our community pages for you to participate. We have a private Slack page for you to participate in. So for you members, just know the reason is there's just too many platforms for us to try to keep up with all the things. So we will still be in here in the portion. So we'll still be chatting and stuff in here. So from time to time, portion ladies, you may see announcements that'll say cafe members. You'll know why now. It's because this is just every once in a while we might throw something in here, but we will usually be dealing with that in Slack, on your private Slack channel, and also in your community pages. So Terumah, how do we say it, Brenda?
That's good.
Terumah. Yeah. Terumah. And I was listening to Gail's teaching the other day night, which was one of our cafe calls yesterday. Oh, geez.
It was just yesterday. I know. Amazing.
That's one of the things that we get in is lots of different calls. And this call was on adoption and fostering. And I was thinking, oh, this isn't about me. I was adopted, but I'm old, so who cares? This isn't going to be for me. I'll just come help turn the lights on, lock the doors after the call, do the things. I'll be tech lady. I'm going to tell you what, Brenda. Yeah, it prepped me even for just this. I mean, it was just really she was really talking about, some things on here as well. And she was laughing, talking about how to say the word, you guys don't have to say the word right. Just say it.
Just say it. Don't worry about it. We're good.
What a great word, Can we just start there? Do you mind?
Yeah, let's start there.
I mean, the reason that it's called this is because there's not really a perfect English word for this, right? The word would be contribution, gifts, but it was a free will offering, or was it free? Was it free? We're going to talk about later, right? They got so many people who participated that Moses was like, okay, enough, because everyone was so excited about giving to this cause.
Yeah. There's something in the spirit that's happening when the Holy One is setting out his plans for his people and drawing them in. And that's what's happening here. Again, this is not the first time it's happened.
Wow.
He's drawing. He's the master architect, and he is laying out this foundational work of building a mobile tabernacle, but building a body,
Mm.
building a people, building a community, building what we are being able to walk in the fruit of here. But at the same time, it's reaching through time and it's building us too. So it's not that it just happened once and done.
Right.
It's a continual, beautiful, and that's the thing that's going to get us all undone here, is it's
Yes.
continually happening, and it has happened several times.
Yes.
And so it's not new, but it's always new. It's always fresh, right?
It's right. It's always fresh. And this is a
Yeah.
time when he's saying, I'm going to let you participate in this.
Hmm.
So when he's on Sinai and he says, will you take this bride? Will you take this husband? This is part of us saying, yes, I'll take this husband. Yes, I say yes. And so he's giving them the opportunity. He doesn't say everyone must do this. He says, if they want to, right?
Yeah.
Ask them to give them the opportunity, to participate in this. So when you walk by, I mean, have you ever participated in a building project before in church? I know, Brenda, have you? And I mean, I'm giggling because I'm thinking I've walked by and be like, yeah, that's my bench. I mean, do you feel like they were like walking by being like, yep, that's my curtain, that's my ring? I didn't have a lot, but I gave to that tiny little ring in the far back west corner of the tabernacle. Yeah, I paid. That was pounded out from some bracelets I brought back from Egypt, because that's where they got most of the things, right? I love that. It's just really part of us saying, when you bring together a home, when you get married, a lot of times you have a shower and people give you all these gifts. And the shower happens and you have a bridal shower and you get the toaster and you get all the, you have a registry. Well, he gave Moses the registry. It said, these are the things you're going to do. And so here's how they can help participate in the shower so they can be part of this ceremony of building this thing, right?
Right.
And I was thinking about, for some reason, Brenda, this word rose up in me, the scripture verse about being faithful stewards of our time, our money, and our talents. That it wasn't just, even though in here we're going to see, I think it's representative in our lives now, because that's why we're here, right? We talk about
Right.
practically applying this. I'll tell
Right.
you all now, we are not going to go super deep into, I mean, there is no way we could do that in an hour. There is an hour and a half. There is no
No.
way that we could dig into,
No.
we could do years of study on the tabernacle. It is an amazing study. This is a life study for a lot of people. And I
Yeah.
highly recommend
Yeah.
dig in there, because this is the picture of Yeshua. It's the picture of heaven. It's the picture of the Garden Eden. But for right
That's
now, we're
right.
just going to do how we practically this applied, right?
Hmm.
So our time, our money, our talent, he's saying, I want you to participate with me. I don't need your money. I don't need your time. I don't need your talents. I gave all that to you, but I'm going to let you participate in this relationship, right? I'm going to let you be in relationship with me. And I think that's the most important thing. It brought up into me is, how are we giving now? Because a lot of us, I was reading Halisa's, oh God, help us all, right? I was reading, I'll show. So those of you who don't have it, I would say, what are you talking about? This is her on Shemot. This is for Exodus. It says book 5, but it's workbook 5, but there's one for every single book of the, so this one's for,
The
and she
Torah.
talks
Yeah.
about,
The
yeah, of Torah. She's talking about gosh, we will go on a cruise ship and throw down our debit card and be like, here you go. I want all the drinks I can have, all the sodas, all the whatever you drink. We'll throw down our debit card and let them take out all the money for all access passes so that we can drink all we want. We will go to Disneyland, spend all kinds of, we'll do all these things. But the minute there's a Sukkot gathering or there's a conference, let's make it real. And people will fire up about, I can't believe you're charging for this. I can't believe this is happening. And this is not my words. This is, this is out of Dr. Alwine's workbook 5. I can give you the page, but she says, we have to realize that, I heard, I think Bill Cloud say, the gospel's free, but getting it to the nations is not. It's
Right.
not. I wish it was, right? I wish,
Hmm.
but there's things, and we have to look at, where are we giving our money. I highly recommend, I know right now with Dr. Alwine and in the Creation Gospel under her ministries. She has an orphanage right now in Africa that they're building a new school for. They're pulling it out. They're raising money right now, building that school. And I recommend at this time of year, this is a time when we're all encouraged to give. This is a time of year we're encouraged to sow into the kingdom. And if you're going to ever sow into kingdom, this orphanage teaches Torah to these children. It's part of a Torah congregation there in Africa. I recommend if you're looking for a place to give, it's hard to find things that are vetted out. I know that she doesn't take any money from it. Everything goes directly. And everyone who is a member in the cafe, also in conferences you attend, percentages of everything that we do all goes to them as well.
Mm-hmm.
But right now they're trying to build an orphanage. I know that's a great place to sow seed. If you have a place, then keep going there, keep sowing there, but make sure it's a place that you're sowing and you're giving to, that there's good fruit. You know, they're not just building a bigger building to build a bigger building. It's because it's bursting at the seams. I mean, I don't want to go there. Just be mindful where you're giving.
Yeah,
Don't
be
laugh
mindful.
at me, Tamara. I see you.
Yeah. You just be mindful, because the heart of giving, the cheerfulness of the heart of giving is what he's after. What he's after is, I can't wait to see what happens. God's given this to me, but it's not for me, it's for somebody else. So when I pass that along, I can't wait to see what's going to happen with that. I can't wait how exciting it is to be a participant in what's happening, because otherwise it's just going to make worms in us, right? I mean, it's just going to be gone. But that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
so
that
that's
cheerful giving. It's the Second Corinthians 9:7 that God loves a cheerful giver. Use the song. God loves a cheerful giver. Give him all you got. He loves to see you laughing when you're in an awful spot. So when the odds are all against you and you cannot do a thing, praise God. To praise him is a joyous thing. Sorry. There was your Sunday school song for the day. We're done.
I never heard that song before. That's cute. Wait, what was that second part?
Yeah, the second part. I know. Wait. Let's go there. All right. So there's your giving. There's your giving talk. This is all about giving. This is all about building. The text that went out today is we're decorating the house today.
Oh, man. Oh, so exciting. Yeah.
I know. Okay. So before we start decorating too, Brenda, he didn't say, I'm going to build this so that I can be inside the tabernacle, so I can live inside the tabernacle, so I can live in it. What does he say?
He said, let them make me a tabernacle, a mishkan, that I may dwell in their midst. Why? Because he wants to dwell in our midst. When else did he dwell in our midst? Can we just ask that question? When else have we seen him dwelling in our midst? Past and future from this point.
Yes.
We saw it in the garden, right?
Right.
He was dwelling in the midst. He was walking in the cool of the day. He was there with them. We saw it in Noah's Ark, right? He was right there in the center. He was the light in the dark place of that enclosed ark. He was in the midst of it. And all the chaos was on the outside, but on the inside, there was no chaos. On the inside, there was shalom. And again, here we're seeing how he's drawing his people together. Why? Because he wants to dwell among us. He wants to fellowship with us. And he wants us to be participants of it, not just giving, writing a check for somebody that you don't know. He's asking you to think about what do you have, not just in money, but what do you have that can benefit someone else? And it's a heart. Everything that's happening in this tabernacle is about the heart of God. The ark is the heart of God. So everything that's happening in this tabernacle, in all the building and everything that's going on, it's all about the heart of God. And the heart of God in dwelling within us, and then reaching out and connecting to everyone around us, everyone that he puts next to us, so that is what we're exuding. So when Charlie and I talk about, you'll always hear us saying things like this: leave the fragrance of Messiah wherever you go. Ladies, this is it.
Yes.
This is it. This is when you are walking in what his instructions are. It leaves the fragrance of Messiah, because where else was he walking amongst us? Where else was he dwelling amongst us? Messiah Yeshua.
Yes.
He was the walking tabernacle.
Mm.
And what did he say about us? Know ye not that you are the temple of the Holy One? What? Yes, it wasn't just Messiah. It was us too. We're to be his shadow. So this isn't just about them. You
Mm.
guys, remember, this that's happening is about us right now. How are we connecting with those that are around us? How are we expressing the heartbeat of God in the midst of our lives? This is real. This is true application. This is walking it out in our daily lives. It's precious.
And I love the
Precious.
hyperlink you gave. You gave the hyperlink, know ye not that you're the tabernacle. That was a hyperlink. When he said that, everyone went,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah, they would have known when
That's
the,
right.
and when he,
Mhm.
in John 1:14, when he says the Torah became flesh and dwelt among them, that was a hyperlink to
Right now.
tabernacle. They would have all
Yeah.
said, oh yeah, just like
Yeah.
then, because
Yeah.
he's taken his bride,
Yeah.
right? He took his bride. And then what happened? That they has to build a house. He has to build a house.
That's
So,
right.
and there's rooms, and there's a food
Yeah.
for table, a table for food, a food for
Mhm.
table, a
E
table for
Either
food.
way,
There's
I'll eat
lights.
whatever.
You need lights for illumination. You need a covering for some
Yeah.
privacy. There needs to be inner
Yeah.
and outer chambers.
Yeah.
He's building a home in the midst so he can live in the midst, not in it, but with them. So that his
Right.
presence was with them, no, he wasn't untouchable. He's saying, and Brenda, I think what's interesting, and we'll get into this as we go further into the details of this tabernacle. For some reason, my whole life, I thought that only the high priest were involved in his presence when they would go into the Holy of Holies.
Mhm.
And then I realized that the outer courts, when they would come in and bring in this, one of my
I
favorite
got it.
parts of talking. Okay, thanks. Going
Mhm.
to outer courts is part of is part of us ascending. It's a part of us communing with him. That actually in the outer courts, people came there so that they could be with him.
Right.
It wasn't just like a family barbecue with each other. I mean, this is just like they came there to be with him,
Mhm.
not just the high priest in the Holy of Holies.
He wasn't the only one. I mean, he was the only one that was in that particular space.
Yes,
But
yes.
but like you said, the presence of the Holy One, he was
Mhm.
saying, come on, come on,
Yeah,
come on, be with me.
yeah. And he cares about in this building you're going to see as
Yeah.
we go through this. I want you to realize he cares about the details.
Mhm.
I mean, down to the hooks.
Oh, let's talk some hooks.
Yeah, we're going to talk hooks. Hook, line, and sinker. No, he cares about the hooks. He cares about the colors. So as women, that's the part of him, I think. Let's just talk about Charlie's opinion. I think that's the female part of the heart of God. Is he cares about the colors and things just like you do in your home.
Mhm.
As you're
Right.
setting up your home, it isn't just you're ushering in that's our job as Isha. Remember the hey at the end of Isha is that we open up the windows of revelation and bring the spirit of God into our homes.
Yeah.
That's part of us making sure your home is a certain way. Now,
Mhm.
if I'm going to get really practical, Brenda.
Mhm.
If your dishes are all over the place, if your house is a hot mess, it's really hard to feel the presence of the Holy One sometimes when things are caving in on you. This is practical. If you can't get control over a sink of dishes, you're never going to cast out demons. I mean, just saying. Well, you might, but I think that was Joyce Meyer said that, not me. But there might be some things that are practical in your life right now that as you stand in your home right now and be like, wow, he cares about the little things. I need to care about the little things. Not perfectionist. Don't get all crazy on us. But it might just be that today's a good day to get control of the dishes. Maybe today's a good day to do that. So that when people come into your homes, or you're just in your home, if you're single and you're by yourself, when you come into your home, you're not trying to and that's the reason we prepare. We say happy prep day. We prepare for the Sabbath because who doesn't love to sit in a home that's like kind of clean, or at least make a space that's clean so that you're sitting there and it's like, oh, okay. instead of like looking around and you've got these tabs open and think, I still gotta do this, even though you're not, it's still happening in your brain. Would you agree, Brenda? I mean,
Yeah,
you're good.
right.
Yeah.
Right. That's really good.
Yeah.
We want to prepare, and here we have this beautiful house that's being built. And I hope that everyone's seeing it this way, maybe for the first time, that this is a house that's being built. And what happens, any of you that are taking my Hebrew alphabet course on the energy of the letters, you know that the letter Bet is the house, it's representative of the house. It's also representative of the air, the sea, the sun. Why all those things? How can it be all those things? But the house is the place where your identity is instilled in you. The house is the place where you learn how to walk. The house is the place where your whoever's in charge, your father and your mother, I mean, perfectly would be your father and your mother. But whoever is in charge of your home, because father, remember, is not just genetic. Father is the one who teaches, the one who cares for it, the one who instructs. That's a father. Same with the mother. And so that's where you're getting your learning, you're being instilled those things of who you are, your identity. And what is happening right now in the Torah portion? Right now in the Torah portion, we're building a house, and we've just gotten our words of who we are. We're being instructed on who we are. Now we get to walk it out. Now we get to fail forward. Now we get to make mistakes. Now we get the safety net of saying, aren't you cute? Look at you trying to do that. Get up and do it again. Next time will be more fun. Next time will be better. I mean, it's that. It's really being instilled with your identity and who you truly are. And that's what happens in the home. And also what happens as the home is that you learn how to be a family.
Yes.
And you learn, and we're gonna get into that. And some of the words in the Hebrew are so amazing, that are being these words that in English we just run right past them because they're really pretty meaningless. But in the Hebrew, there's all these beautiful stories. These words are amazing
Yes.
stories, and I got stuck on a few, and I didn't go very far. But I always tell everybody, just stop where you are and just stay right where you are, and that's what I did this time. I mean, that was for,
Yeah,
but
and she shared one
hooks.
little one with me, and I was all, huh, I
Ugh.
can't even. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, good thing I took notes because I'm done now. I'm just can't
yeah,
wait. So,
yeah. But isn't that
we
beautiful? That's what a home is.
it's a
So
home, and we're the little
yeah,
homes. Even in Ezekiel, I put
yeah,
Ezekiel 11:16 as a verse for you guys to look up later. But it says that He is present as a little sanctuary with us.
yeah,
We get to taste His presence. He tells us
yeah,
He's going to we're little sanctuaries, our homes,
yeah,
our bodies,
yeah,
ourselves. Again, a hyperlink saying, "You aren't. You know you not that you are the tabernacle of the Holy One."
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
don't you know?
You get
It's
that?
another hyperlink. He's back to,
Yeah,
I told you I was going to sanctuary with you. You're going to be little sanctuaries.
yeah.
Gosh, we have so much in
Whew.
here.
What about that? What about that scripture, guys, that says that? Let me look and see. I might have put it on a note. By wisdom, a house is built. By understanding, it is made, secured, and by knowledge, its rooms are filled with all kinds of costly and precious, pleasant possessions. And that's in
Mm,
Proverbs 24. Okay, so this house is being built, but understand that there's, okay, so I guess the premise here is that, you guys, we're looking at this in multiple layers. If
yeah.
you have gone through this for 20 years and you get this first glance, awesome. But if this is the first time you're actually glancing at it, awesome. You're not behind, because this is awesome. So there's multiple layers in every, that's how wise God is. That's his beauty. So we're looking at this house, and there are multiple layers upon layers
Yes.
upon layers. You're never going to know it all. I don't care how wise you are. Everybody realizes that there's always going to be depths that we're never going to reach, but how fun that we get to actually dig it out. So we just keep digging, and we just keep enjoying. And so right now, if what you're getting is, this is a house, really? I thought it was a church building. I mean, I thought it was,
Right?
I thought it was just like a place that you had to go, you were forced to go, 3 times a year or what. This is a home. This is everything. This is a home. It's a house, it's a sanctuary, it's all of those things. It's a place that we're building so that we learn how to be a community. And that is like my huge takeaway from this week more than anything was the importance of community. This is
Mhm.
not a place where one person goes and hangs. This is a
Mm,
place where you bring everybody,
yes.
the foreigner, everybody, women, men, children, everybody, everybody comes here. And this is the place where we're going to learn about who we are, who other people are, who Messiah is, how that relates to us, how we relate that to others. We're going to learn how to have community in the midst of
Yes.
this. How beautiful is that? So,
And Brenda, and then you were talking about dimensional, and this today's going to be about an overview, pretty much, and then
yes,
we're going to nerd out on a couple things. But the overview here, but go into another on that overview is you've got this is the community where the community meets, and then you have this is where the community meets. Am I a place where the community is going to want to meet?
exactly.
And
Exactly.
and we hear Yeshua hyperlink to this saying, are you guys are just whitewashed tombs, or oh, you're clean on the outside but dirty on the inside. We see that when we see the gold. The gold didn't have to be on the inside of the ark of the covenant or the inside. Nobody sees that. It could have been just on the outside to look pretty, but it's the inside out. It's the integrity. Are you living in excellence? Are you He cares about the details, and I'm not pushing the button to my perfectionist girlfriends here.
Right.
Talking about, are you a place people want to come in? Are they finding the Holy One
Yeah.
dwelling with you in these places?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of, you know,
It's
we have we
pretty
get
it's pretty important because if we're supposed to be the shadow of Messiah, and
mm,
what happened when he walked through a town?
yeah,
He gathered people.
right,
And
right.
but how did he treat them? He always treated them with dignity and respect. He always treated them as each and every one precious. Think about the woman who grabbed hold of his zit when he was walking by. She knew if she could just grab that zit, she didn't want to bother him, but if she could just grab that zit, she would be
Mm,
healed. She knew it. She
yeah,
knew that she knew that she knew. And he turned around. Who touched me?
yes,
He was intimately connecting with her because she was valuable and precious as each and every one is. And
yes.
and that is part of this this house building, this community thing, is that we are learning that we need to link one with another. Oh wait, hook, link. Hmm.
Oh, we'll go. Yeah. Pause. We have scriptures pouring through my head right now, like, unless the
Oh,
Lord builds the house, they labor in vain. I mean, think
yep.
about how many houses have you tried to build?
That's Psalm
Minis
127.
Ministries, businesses.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, that's just me.
Yeah.
And you're laboring in vain. The good news is that he
Yeah.
works all things for our good, right?
He
So
does.
I'm gonna claim
Yeah.
Romans 8:28 over all of my
Do it.
stuff. But he made provision.
Yeah.
He made provision. Oh wait, how? Because he told them before they left Egypt, grab knock on your neighbor's doors and ask for some stuff. Because and they said it was a because I said so. He didn't explain why. Just
Mhm.
because I said so. So they ran around and people freely gave it to them. So if there's things you're struggling with as far as provision, things that I'm, even in my own mind, there's things that I'm struggle with. I have to remember he's going to make a way. He always does. And if he's going to
Mhm.
prepare you, and if he's going to pay for he's going to make provision for whatever he has plans for, right? And we see him doing it here. Have any of you guys ever, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever went to the tabernacle where they set it up, a life-size replica of the whole tabernacle? I was able to go to one. It was down in San Diego, and this portion group, the little ladies around the table, we couldn't bring Brenda along virtually. I tried, and then I got caught because it says no photography, and so I got in trouble because I'm inside the inner part of the tabernacle, not the Holy of Holies part, but I was sitting in there and they're sitting there and you're listening with your little headphones. And I'm like trying to like take pictures or make Brenda be with me. And I got in trouble. So yeah, Amanda says, yes, it was awesome. For me, it gave me a whole different dimension because I feel now when we talk about things, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that part. Oh, I remember that part. Obviously, it's not the exact same thing, but if you can sit in the house right now and spend some time in this parsha and in the next parsha, just getting an overview. I mean, a lot of you are really deep into this and you've done this for years and years and years. But
Yeah.
I just ask for you to stand in a back corner and just be like, oh, I know where that is. Okay, I know where this is. I know. Okay, okay. The doorway to get in is in the on the west side, but the tabernacle's facing the east because that was the way that the gates were. It was facing the east because that's where Eden was, right? It says, and God said that He placed the two cherubim with the flaming swords at the east to protect the way in. And oh wait, there's two cherubim on the Ark of the Covenant,
The mercy
sitting
seat.
on
Yep.
the mercy seat. He's sitting up on that, which was taken with them before battle, not as a god, not as an idol. It wasn't something to be worshipped like they did in Egypt, but he was showing them the proper way that it was his throne, and he was going to sit on his throne, and it wasn't worshiping an object, but worshiping the one who sat on the object, the one who came down, as they would have understood a king sitting on a throne. They would have understood that that's where he would come to sit. And he was giving them a visual representation of what that looked like. I thought
I
that was
love
really
that,
beautiful.
Charlie. And I love that what you said to just not expand on it, but just to add a little bit to that is that what we get from this Torah portion too is that the commandments are put inside of the ark. The cherubim, okay, on the outside, we call them cherubim, on the outside of the mercy seat. But to get to those, you have to go through mercy to get to the commandments. When we, when we, whenever we receive those commandments, we receive them through the mercy of the Most High. From where he sits and where he reigns is surrounded with mercy. And when we receive his commandments, it's through his mercy. It's through that place of covering. It is, if we try to get to the commandments outside of receiving them through that place of mercy, they will only bring death and destruction.
Mm.
But when we receive them, when we walk them, that's why walking the ways of the Holy One, returning to the ancient paths, stepping onto this path on the way, stepping into this is not burdensome. It's not hard. The yoke is easy. How can that be? Because Yeshua's there and we're getting them through him. I don't know. Does that make sense?
It
They're not
does.
being thrown at us. They're not being saying, "Thou shalt not, you better not, don't you dare." It's not that.
It's the
It's
ketubah. It's in the private
yes, it's
bedroom. It's in the
love.
intimate sanctuary.
This
It's,
is who
when
you
you have
are.
a wedding covenant, it's
Yeah,
written, the ketubah is written, and then he places it inside, and he's actually going to protect it, and he's going to honor it, and he's going to make
yeah,
sure it's fulfilled.
yeah. He
Um,
is.
he's surrounding it.
Hmm.
One thing I wanted to say, when we're going through, you're going to hear a lot of times, you're going to see in your English Bibles, we're going to see the word heart and mind. I want you to
Hmm.
know, in Hebrew, those are interchangeable.
Hmm.
The word heart is the same as mind. So when you hear in Psalms 51, David crying out, saying, "Create in me a clean heart, O Lord, and renew a right spirit in me," he's saying, renew my mind, right? Um, Psalms 40, he says, "Then I'm going to delight to do your will. Your Torah is within my heart. It's within my mind."
Yeah,
Not my not my mind, like I'm so smart, like you
not
can be in some
intellect. Yeah,
groups, not intellect, where
yeah,
I'm going to spout all the rules and I know where it says this to this to this,
yeah,
but is he written it in your heart, on your soul, in your mind?
yeah.
Is it part of who you are? And the reason I say that is because this is part of your identity.
Hmm.
This
The
is
seat
part
of
of
your
your life.
emotions might
It's
be
this,
helpful. That
yes,
Yeah, the seat of your
yes.
emotions.
Yeah. So we've got the ketubas in the inner sanctuary. I'm not going to call it a bedroom, but it's a place where it's an intimate moment where he comes down and sits and he rules. There's a table. We're going to see a table. Again, everything's covered with gold. Everything's covered inside and out with gold. And it's fun when people say, "Oh, well, God knows my heart." We talk about having a clean heart. Everything's pure and clean inside and out. So it's fun. Does he know your heart? I'm scared because when people say that to me, I'm like, ooh, ooh, yes, he does. So, yeah. So,
And yes, he does.
and yes, he does. Then we have a table. We hear it talked about as the bread of presence, lachem
Mm,
hapanim, the faces,
mhm.
because there's the sides and the faces, and there are 12 loaves of bread. And again, we can go deeper into this as we go through this. But
He's the bread of life.
I mean, really?
Come on.
One of the reasons we do, even another reason we have bread at Shabbat to break bread with one, breaking the bread is it's part of a covenant thing. So it was a reminder of the covenant. It's a reminder of that when you break bread. We have the menorah. I mean, really, could we spend 10, 20 our whole life just talking about the 7 branches of the menorah? Jump into creation gospel.
We could spend the rest of our lives just talking about bread.
Right? Please.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
You know, you eat bread when you break bread with somebody. You're extending your cloak of coverage over them. So when you're breaking bread with somebody, it means that they are no longer your enemy, that you have received them in, and that their enemies are now your enemies, and that you will defend them with your life. So we don't even have to talk about that. Just stick that in your back pocket.
Stick that in your back pocket. I mean, and there were 12. So we sang all the nations. I'm going to cover all the nations. And every week I'm going to renew the covenant. Oh, wait, at Shabbat, because we hear that word that this happens every Shabbat. He renews the covenant that I'm going to protect and cover you. And that's where you get the rest at. And that's why we drive home. Shabbat is so important, because it really is the wedding ring of who you are in him, to prove, like saying, this is who I am. Gosh, the tabernacle, it's representative of the Garden of Eden. We've talked about it's, again, today's overview, again, sort of. We've talked about it being Yeshua, it's the representative of him. It's inside of us. Gosh, there's other stuff. All the things are outside. It's interesting. There's 2 altars. There's one inside. There's one outside. The one inside is gold. The one on the outside is made of bronze. It was bigger. Bronze is easier to carry. And there's a bunch of other reasons for the bronze. Anything else you have on anything overview?
Oh man.
I just think the biggest important thing on all of this is, as we dive into any little details we have now, is just that let's remember, as you're reading this, the most important thing is you keep asking yourself, there's a reason for these details. So where's Yeshua in this detail?
Right. Exactly.
So my first cool thing, I think I might have read it in the Creation Gospel Workbook 5, but was just the colors.
Oh yeah. I like this part about the colors.
It cares even about the colors. I mean, every time you hear these colors mentioned, they're always in the same order.
Yep.
You're going to hear blue, purple, and scarlet or red.
Always.
Super. You're going to always hear them in the same order.
Yeah.
Blue by itself is a primary color. It has no other colors in it. It's just blue. Blue is blue is blue. You don't mix 2 colors together to make blue. Blue is just blue. Red is the same thing. Red is red is red. You don't mix 2 colors and, oh, look, I get red. I play this game with my granddaughters. What happens when you mix blue and red? Purple. And that's the middle.
Yeah.
So we could sit in that for today if we wanted.
Yeah.
We have the blue. It could be, the middle.
Heaven.
Heaven.
It's royal. It's heaven. It's
heaven.
It's the heavens.
The heavens.
And what would
you
be
have the red?
Yeah.
You have the red. I mean, Adam. It's the red earth. It's the red earth. It's man. It's the it's our passions. It's the things that it's things on earth.
Yeah.
And then we have heaven. What is it? As is heaven as on earth as it is in heaven is purple.
Yeah. 100% of each brought 100%. Together. Mediator. Who's the mediator? Right there. Yeah. Brings heaven to earth.
Isn't that cool?
Which this tabernacle's doing, guys, too. This Mishkan, it is bringing heaven to earth, because it is a replica of what is actually functioning in heaven as we speak.
Yes.
And so all the details, all of the teeny details, those are all functioning right now. And he's bringing this all to us, which is, I mean, come on, all of that. But he's the mediator. And so he's bringing heaven to earth right now. And that's where in the ark and the mercy seat, that's where it's the center point of it is. And it's the same thing that happened in the garden. It's the same thing that happened with Noah. It's the same thing that happened with Messiah. It was where heaven and earth touched, where they were brought together, where there is just this wild supernatural thing that's happening, that's bringing both together at the same time. And so if you look at purple, think of it that way. It's like, whoa, it's both happening at the same time. Isn't that cool?
So
I
cool.
know.
I was reading about the colors, and I mean,
Yeah.
some of you that are follow along in different stories, but I did read a story about how I read about how you got the blue and how they got the colors, right? And we know the blue
Mhm.
is the same blue as they use in the Talits, and
Mhm.
it's made from like a snail or like a sea snail
Mhm.
that they grind up. And I mean, where did they get that? In so there's a couple theories. One is they got it from the Egyptians. It would have been something that they would have gotten from Egypt. They brought with them, or it was a price that had to be paid. That they actually had to. They would have come across caravans that maybe they would have purchased them from caravans, or they would have taken trips to the sea to grab them and bring them back. There was a price paid. We don't know how they got them.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter.
But
Maybe it does.
they were being given wisdom, O guy and B guy wisdom, O gal, B gal
Yes. Oh, it's
wisdom,
my
we say.
favorite part
Uh,
next week.
right. And so
Yes.
that wisdom was being poured out on them so that they were supernaturally able
Mhm.
to figure out all these. Where are they getting the wood from? How are they
I
doing
read
all of
it.
these?
I read away.
Hmm.
I sent it to you.
Yeah.
That the sages say.
Hmm.
This is my sages face. The sages say that Jacob, because the Babylonians have a poem that they found. They found an old Babylonian poem
Of that.
that said that because of the father Jacob had told the sons to bring the seeds to plant the trees because they would need them to take with them in the future. So the sages say, because this Babylonian poem that was found, that Jacob actually had his sons plant trees so that they would have had trees and they would have taken them with them when they left. And they would have had these trees to build all the things. I don't know.
Wow.
It's a Babylonian poem. We don't know. But
Yeah.
I found it. If you guys want it, I always hate when I say this but yeah, get a hold of me and I screenshot it onto my phone. I can. Last time I gave my phone number out, Brenda about freaked out. She's like, "What are you doing?" Whatever. You can call me. I may not answer, but you could call. You could text me. That's probably best. Anyways, the other
That's so good.
thing, the
We're
other
having a
thing was
lot of comments on here too.
I
We'll
can't.
have
I
to
know.
go through these, but
I
it's
see all these.
so
I keep looking.
exciting. I
I
love
watch
it.
myself sometimes on these videos, and I'm always looking all over because I'm like,
Yeah.
there's such great comments over
Watching. Yeah.
here. But the other one is the red one. And can I say I was in tears and fell on the floor when I read about how they get the red color. And many of you know this, but so the
Yeah.
story is for the newbies or
Right.
maybe the oldies who don't know this story. But those of you know it, go get your coffee, go potty, and you can come back. I'm going to tell the story of the red, how they get the color red. The way they got this color red is there's actually a worm. It's the same worm that would fill up the manna, my understanding. I could be wrong, but from my investigation, it was the same kind of worm, but it may not be. And this worm, the female worm, by the way, but this worm, when she when she's has her babies and she's ready to die, she will actually crawl up a tree, attach herself. She will be like nail herself. Did I just say that on purpose? I think I did. To
I
a
think you did.
tree. She will, and then she protects her babies, and she dies, and a red flows out of her that covers them and protects them. And that's the color. That's how they get that red dye to make the red that's used. Who doesn't think that's cool if you've never heard that story before?
Yeah.
Kathy, you already knew that. I can tell. She was like, I'm checking out. You know what? I actually
I
let
had
me because I
actually never heard that story before. Or if I ever heard it, I don't remember ever
don't
hearing it.
remember. I have
But I did read
I
it this week.
did you read it this week? The worm story. And
The
it
worm
was now I
story. I
just remember
loved
where did I
that.
get that from? And I actually tagged it because
I think that
it
Polisa
is
had it
you
in her
did.
book.
On page 198, if you're in there, and it says, when the female of the scarlet worm species was ready to give birth to her young, she would attach her body to the trunk of a tree, fixing herself so firmly and permanently that she would never leave again. The eggs deposited beneath her body were thus protected until the larvae were hatched and able to enter their own life cycle. As the mother died, the crimson fluid stained her body and the surrounding wood. From the dead bodies of such female scarlet worms, the commercial scarlet dyes of antiquity were extracted. What a picture this gives of Christ dying on the tree, shedding his precious blood, that he might bring many sons unto glory. And she refers Hebrews 2:10. Isn't that beautiful? And
Every
it was out of a book from Morris. It's a citation of that, but
I just love how, um, thank you, Charlie, for saying that today we're going to just do an overview. We have to just do an overview. There are experts in this area, and they take
Lifetime.
hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to just explain one little tiny thing, and it would be such a disservice for us. But we get to touch on a few things, and we get to enjoy together learning things that are new, hearing from people that know things that we don't know. I mean, that's the best part about this whole community thing, is that, and I love Simi always very pro everybody has a voice, because it's really, really true. When we each share the part that we have, even if it's the tiniest little part, somebody else is hearing our voice and seeing and
Yes.
hearing something from a perspective that they've never had. We need each other,
Yes.
and each one of you is valuable at whatever level that you're at. If you say, um, you know, blue is the most beautiful color I've ever seen in my life, that would seep into me and touch me in a way that maybe I've never seen it that way before. I mean, everything. Please don't ever feel that you know nothing and you have nothing to contribute. That's my point, is that you do, and you are.
So that's super confirmation, because when I was praying, as I was praying this morning and going through my little prayer time before we started, and I kept asking for what do you want I do this every week. What do you want them to know, Father? What is it?
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything that's not you, because I have a big old mouth and I say stupid stuff. What do you want them to know? And you know what I kept hearing him saying? It didn't make sense until you just confirmed it. He just said, ask them what they got this week.
Yeah.
Every single person, every single one of them, ask them what they got. So we ask you today.
Yeah.
I'd like you on this Facebook group. Would you go in and say, even if you think it's the most insignificant thing that you read the and you realized it wasn't tahe, that it was the word the. I don't care. I want you to like put in there. This is what touched my heart today, because you know what, Brenda just said everything. I don't even need to re-say it. But I know that that's what he told me to ask you this morning. It didn't make sense, and now it makes sense.
Mm,
It all matters. Brenda has
yeah.
some really cool stuff as you're reading. Bren, will you want to share that?
Oh, a couple of the things that I wanted to share with you. One of the things is, you realize that the tabernacle is also a body. It's a body.
Yeah.
I never knew that before.
Oh, I
I'm
forgot that
like,
part.
what?
Yeah, it's a body.
It's a
Yes.
body. It has a head and a body and legs, and it has all the pieces that put it all together. It's a body. It's so many, many things. It's so many, many layers. And for those of you that are in the cafe uh, Tuesday talk, Dr. Dina Dye, who is an expert in the ancient Near East, and also she's an expert in the temple, and she's just phenomenal. And just, we could just listen forever at the wonderful things that she's able to share with. She's going to be with us next Tuesday. So that's that. And I'm hoping that she will want to be talking about some of the temple things, because this is the great part of the portion that's going on. But yeah, there's one scripture that, I mean, there's words in here that are like hidden gems. That's why I'm so excited for you. If you just take your, like, Charlie, did we offer the Blue Letter Bible for
We
Dummies for
did, and you know what's
free?
really yeah, we did, and you know what's really fun is I put it up the other
Mm,
day, and I know I
yeah,
think Allie's not on here right now, but Allie Cooper was like, why aren't we taught this in like Sunday school? Like, why aren't we taught
right,
this as beginners how to use this?
right.
We posted it.
Yeah.
It's a posting from yesterday. If you look, I posted it like several times. The link, it is
Mhm.
free. Go in there. Brenda and I go through very
Grab it.
basic
Super
how to
basic,
use
guys.
the
Super
Blue Letter
basic. Yeah.
Bible. So
Yeah.
you wonder, how are we learning these things? It's too hard for you. No, it is not. We do Blue
Mm-mm.
Letter Bible for not so dummies. You
Right.
go in there and learn and
Yeah.
watch it.
You do not have to know Hebrew. You do not have to read Hebrew in order to uh, glean glean the
Right.
depths.
And
It's
we are not
so
teaching
so
how to use
beautiful.
Strong's. We're not teaching you how to use
No,
Strong's concordance in
no.
this. And so a couple of you said, oh, the Strong's. I think Allie was like, oh, use the Strong's. We're not teaching you that. We're not teaching you English definitions.
No,
We're
that's
teaching
dictionary
you how,
definitions.
yeah, we're not teaching you that. We're going to teach you
Mm-mm.
how to do the,
Yeah.
it's good. Go get it.
So,
Like
so
super fast too.
okay. So, can I just say a couple words real quick?
I do everything, do all the things.
Okay. Gosh, I don't even remember where. I think it's 26:6. I think it is 26:6 if I'm remembering
You
quickly.
look, I'll fact check.
Okay, yeah, fact check. I think it's 26:6. But anyway, there are words like when it's talking about coupling the curtains together, okay? Right? So it says couple them together. That word for couple is the same word, havar, and it's the same word that is friendship. Okay? That should burst in your brain right now. It's coupling together, it's bringing things together, and all of a sudden you get this you're thinking of it like friendship. Well, keep going. The word for curtains is the root word. It's a family of words and it means tremble. So the curtains, there's a trembling there. The next word, together. That word together in Hebrew, is it, Charlie, am I right? Is it
It's
26?
26:3.
26:3. Okay. So that Hebrew word for the word together, guess what that word is, guys? It's talking about just putting the curtains together, right? So in English, we just go, oh, he's just putting the curtains together. But in Hebrew, it's talking about relationships. It's talking about friendships. It's talking about gathering people together and linking with them. So the word for together is Isha. You guys know what the word Isha is. The word that's translated in English here is together. In Hebrew, it's talking about, it says Isha Akoth, and that is sisters, women joining as sisters. That's what that means. It's not just the word together. In English, it's the word together. But in Hebrew, it's talking about, because male and female, right? Because when you build something, in order to produce, you have to have a male and female, correct? So this is the female part, is that gathering together, and that friendship is male, and then the together part is the female part, and it is the Isha and her sisters. It's the women and her sisters. And then then you keep going to the hooks is the thing that's grabbing together like hands, joining hands and bringing them together. I just want you to see that in Hebrew, there are beautiful stories that are being laid out for us that have nothing to do with what our English mind thinks. Because in our English mind, what we're thinking is that he's just telling us how to stick the curtains together so they don't fall off. But in Hebrew, he's saying, I want you sisters, I want you women to gather your sisters. This is what we do. We
And
gather
surround.
our sisters and we link in a way that no one's left behind, right? That's what we're doing. See, that's kind of like, Charlie, was that not like our commission?
For absolutely. And I'm even
Yeah.
thinking of this Purim concert when Colleen called me and she said, "Would you be willing to link arms with the sisters in South Africa? Would you be willing to link arms across this big pond and help us link the women together
Yeah.
on this planet?"
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry.
Whoa. And he's in the midst, like he wants to tabernacle amongst us. And what do we get to do as
Right.
Ishas? We get to bring that
Right.
spirit in
Yeah.
today, right
Right.
now.
Yeah.
We know he's omnipresent. He's everywhere. So I
Yeah.
always thought when we use that verbiage, when we say, well, where two or three are gathered, he's there in their midst. Well, that's a whole covenant, ancient Near East perspective thing that we won't talk about. But let me just say that as we couple our arms together, Pietra, you're in South Africa.
Right.
Kathy, you're on the West Coast. I'm like, who can I
Yeah.
see? We have women in
Yeah.
Texas,
Yeah.
all the women here everywhere,
Yeah. We got
Minnesota,
we got all
Michigan.
of our
Oh my
ladies in
Lord,
Canada. We have all of our
Canada.
ladies up north. Yeah.
All you ladies, we have 34 women just here on Zoom right now. And then we have Alabama, Tiffany. I see you, Tiff. I'm like, I feel like again, Montana, Idaho. I
Yeah.
mean, all the ladies that are here, New Mexico. We're linking arms with the women in other
Yes, we
parts of the earth.
are.
We are doing
Yeah.
this is we're linking the arms and providing the curtains around so that
Yeah.
we do you see it? Isn't that
Yeah.
beautiful?
Yeah. And it's a covering, and it's the beauty, and just think I just want you to know that you're not alone. And that's what he's saying, right, Charlie? That's what he's saying to us is we're not alone. We're not alone in this. This isn't about, in our Western thinking, we have come up with this idea that salvation is a solo experience, that it's just about how God changes us and saves us, and then we get to go to heaven when we die. Ooh, let me just say, there's a lot more going on. And what that lot more going on is that we're a family. And in a family, we have identity. And it's
Yes.
not just us solo, it's our siblings. And
Mhm.
and the word here, and it's not even in the King James. The word that's in here, the Isha, and the word that comes right after it, the first sister, Akoth, that word's not even listed in the King James, but when you look at it in the Hebrew, it is there.
And they can find that if not
Yeah,
on Blue Letter Bible, they can find it on
yeah.
Bible Hub
Bible Hub, same thing.
if you
It'll
want
show
the
you.
original Hebrew
Mhm.
verbiage, or
The most
if
original that we have.
yeah, the
Yeah,
most that we have,
yeah,
then you can find it on Bible Hub and you can
yeah.
look up the verse and then you can look up what each word
Mhm.
it'll do the same thing. So
Yeah,
just giving
yeah,
you tools because you're like, did you guys just
yeah,
make this up? Like,
yeah.
no.
No, we're not. We're not. We're
Unfortunately, what
yeah.
happened is King James, again, doing the very best he could with what he knew
Absolutely,
through his
100%.
filters,
Mhm.
flawed as we
Yeah.
are.
Mhm.
There were things left out. He
Yeah.
maybe not have liked the idea that that was a word about very feminine and it was
Mhm.
a very masculine society. So he didn't like
Mhm.
that. We're not trying to
There's no
bring
bashing going on
we're
here.
not
No.
doing a new
Mm-mm.
revolution. We're just saying that there was a portion of this where he was talking. And I'm reminded, Brenda, is during, I mean, I was thinking about you during when you walking around, Jeff, when we did your renewal of your vows.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's again the walking around. It's
Yeah.
that encircling, because that's
It's
one
the
of our as
surrounding.
it's the
Yeah.
surrounding. That's the is
Mhm.
there conegdo of us that we
Yeah.
are surrounding and protecting the
Mhm.
outside. It's what we do in our homes.
Yeah.
It was
We
we that
weave.
we weave.
And
We
it's not and realize too that it's not just the one, it's not just with the spouse, right?
no.
It's the seed to come. And remember that every time anything, it's all about, okay, think about creation, right? When the waters are separated, why? So that the land could come up, so that there would be the ability for fertility, right?
Mhm.
That's why the waters had to be separated so the land could come up, just like when they walked through uh, the Reed Sea, right? What had to happen? The waters had to be separated so that the land would be fruitful, which was them walking on the land, right?
Right,
Because it
right.
was it was it was it was underwater. They couldn't do that. That's what's happening with us. It's not just the here and now that we see with our eyes, but what is the future? And that's what hit me when I was surrounding my husband, when
Yes.
I was walking around him 7 times. All of my children were present when that happened because it was our 35th wedding anniversary that Charlie threw the party for me. So kudos. It's always great to have a best friend.
Woo-hoo.
Does that kind of stuff for you. And when I was being able to surround my husband and walk around him, what was happening inside of me was that I realized that my children were part of that weave, and their children to come, and who they are attached to and who they are
Yes.
bringing into the family. And so it's always more than what we see right now. So when we see the word together in English, that's why we encourage you to do the Blue Letter Bible for not so dummies. I think is what you called it. Blue Letter Bible for not so dummies. She
I
made it
made
a
it less
yeah.
crazy on the
Okay.
when
Yeah.
you see it, it says like Blue Letter Bible beginner or something, but
Right. But the thing is that those are the words that will weave pictures into your mind and bring you to a place where you can just settle and go, wow, God, you're so big. You've got so many beautiful things. And that's just the beginning. Do you realize that the pillars, anything that has to do with wood, okay, so in Hebrew, sticks, this is going to blow your mind if you don't already know this. And those of you that do know this, you can
go
just
get coffee.
tingle with me, tingle with me.
Oh yeah, tingle.
So tingle, tingle, tingle. There's wood, sticks, uh, trees, branches, uh, all of that is it's all from the word etz. It's all from the word for tree, and it all represents people
Mhm.
because trees represent people in the Bible. So when you and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, it's saying, you're a tree and your roots are going down and your leaves are going to be going, but your branches are going to go out and you're going to be extending yourself, and there's going to be fruit from you, and that fruit is what people are supposed to be eating. So it's a whole imagery there. And so whenever you see like these pillars, what these things are being made with wood, it's people. It's the people, it's the standing ones. The pillars are the standing ones. So this building is being built with people, not just pieces of wood. It's being built with people.
Yes.
And the cloth and the weaving, it's just all so beautiful and so symbolic. And there's just so much more that I can't even.
There's so much. It's great. One of the cool things about this too, if you think as you're going through this, we hear, I saw some, I'm going to go through and let's just read the comments, but I'm going to tell you guys, when you read through this section, I think it's 25 through 40, the proclamations, it says, you shall make this, or what, there is 7, and it all is equivalent to the creation.
Yes. You were saying that earlier. So
I'm just going to say, we're not doing it, but I'm just going to tell you that there are 7 stances in the poem and in the instructions that you shall do that, and you'll see that, and then it ends in, and Moses said it was complete, brought it, it was good, and then there was a Sabbath.
What?
So I'm just going to say that you too can go deeper. You could compare the two, and you would be able to see. I did listen to that too. I listened to a lot of things. Sometimes I listen, I go, and then I have to spit out the bones. So when I say, sometimes I'm afraid to say where I learned something, because I don't want you to go on there and be like, oh dear God. But this, I listened to the Bible. What do I listen to, Brenda? Oh, the Bible Project.
Bible Project.
I love, and they have a whole series on trees.
Do they?
They have a whole series on where, starting in the garden and all the different trees and what it means. It's a podcast called the Bible Project. One guy is Jewish and the other guy is not, but they do the Hebraic perspective of the Bible. They are Christians. So spit out the bones, take it, don't take it, whatever. Just go through, let the Holy Spirit guide you as you listen. I mean, that's with everything, right? That's with us. Right. You should be like, that was crazy. Don't listen to her.
Oh, you better
test everything.
Better be testing everything, guys.
But we really encourage. I listened to that, and I was just happened to scroll through last night, going, I wonder if they say anything in any 200 and something episodes they have about. And it popped out of 200, like Exodus 25 through 40, and I listened to the end of the podcast, and he says he says it's a complete parallel to the creation. There's 7 sections to it, and it ends in a Shabbat. So I'll leave that. Let y'all find that out. You can go look that out. Can we read some comments? Because I'm dying over here. There's so much going on. I feel like I have like FOMO. I'm fear of missing out right here.
Yes. I was just looking at some. I mean, where do we start? So
I don't know.
You guys are precious. You realize that, don't you?
Yeah.
That you guys you're truly precious, and that we read the comments and we learn. And I just want you to know that we love you.
Love it. Ruth Camargo says, now Ruth Camargo, her and her husband have a ministry called Torah Heroes. And it's precious. I'll just say that. But they're enjoying right now a series that their kids it's called Tabernacle Man on YouTube that they're enjoying. It's a great depiction and their kids love it. So a lot of you have kids, homeschooling stuff or whatever, Tabernacle Man. And anything Ruth, I would say that I would trust anything she recommends to you. So, gosh, Pietra says, thank you. Gosh, we're looking quick. What are some, Erica, we know. She says, I feel that for me, there has been a move from the Father, takes me as I am, and I absolutely know he does, and giving me the respect and reverence he deserves by having myself and my home prepped. That's good. You know what? I started thinking to myself, and it first put a little pressure on me, and now I've relaxed a little bit, but I'd be like, if the Queen of England was coming to, or if the, we'll say that we don't know kings, we don't understand that monarchy thing very well, but if anyone important was coming to your home, you'd run around and go crazy. My mom would say, I've told you before, putting on the dog. That was the Southern idiom. We put the good towels out, we empty the trashes, things get wiped down, you're looking around everywhere, you're clean, you just, doing all the stuff. If you think about it as your Shabbat, as the king wants to have an appointment with you, he wants to invite you into the inner chambers. And it doesn't mean, I don't want you to go crazy, ladies, but I think we'll see through here as people. I started early. I cleaned yesterday, guys. It was the first time in a long time I did my prep yesterday. So today I'm like, oh, what am I going to do?
I saw that. Look at you.
What? I think I haven't made my bed. Shh, don't tell anyone. So that has to happen still. Actually, I wash my sheets always Friday after this. So we start the night with clean sheets. Everyone takes showers. It's like, oh, okay. So
Stuck on silver, Amanda says. Stuck on silver. Sister, I get you.
sister, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
redemption, the purification. It's just, yes, we can just go on forever,
Yeah, Pietra
forever.
says acacia
Thank
was
you.
her stop, although I also thought each of
I
these
love
details
that.
probably had a specific reason. Pietra, every detail has a reason. Can we
Every
just all say
detail.
that? Every
Yeah,
verse, every
yeah,
word is not like, oh,
yeah.
he doesn't just throw things out like no big deal.
Mm-mm.
Every word,
Yeah,
everything. So you can do like what
yeah.
Brenda did and grab each year, just grab one little verse,
Mhm.
look it up and sit in it
Yeah,
and just look at each word. Just
yeah,
one word,
yeah.
you'll be done. You just need one verse or
You know,
one
in
word.
Hebrew, the word and is significant. The word and is significant. The word
Yes.
the is significant.
Yes.
I mean, seriously, that it's true. He doesn't waste his real estate. Okay, the the Torah is limited real estate, right? And so every letter is significant real estate. Every
Yes.
single letter, and every letter has a story. Every letter has a story with the letter before it, the letter behind it. It has a story within the word. It has a story within the sentence. It has a story within the context.
Mm.
Every letter. So, you know,
It's all important.
it's
So,
all
but
important.
don't let it overwhelm you. You just take a
No.
little at a time. You're exactly where
Yeah.
you're supposed to be. Lots of
Yes.
comments in here about clutter. It's hard to rest. It's hard to Shabbat. It's hard to get downloads in the middle of clutter. So some of you guys just need to take authority over your clutter.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just going to empower you this morning. Take authority over your clutter. Take authority over the
Yes.
dishes. Take authority over the refrigerator that you need to clean out because it's falling. The closet that every time you open it, you have to shut it really fast. I know you're there because I've been there. So I'm just giving you permission. Take authority over that.
Yes.
Yeah, no rushing. Erica says, I am not someone who dresses up too much, but I remember someone talking about how much time we put into going on a date or a night out. But when it comes to Shabbat, we don't always put the efforts on a date with our king. That's sweet. I like that.
Mm.
Yeah, shave
Mm.
your legs. Just saying. Just saying. You have to love me.
You do.
Oh gosh, where do you guys? Anything else? I'm trying to read.
If
When you
Yeshua
enter,
is the middle, purple, purple also speaks of kingship. Hello.
yes, hello. Was yeah,
Thank you, Amanda. Yep. He and he's
yes.
and he is the perfect of both, right? It's like it's not just a little of this and a little, it's he's the perfect of both. And he
Mm,
is he is right there, right there. Bam.
yes.
Yes. King.
Aaron says it's mercy before commandments. Love leads to a desire to obey. Oh, that's so good, Aaron. Thank you, Aaron.
You guys, you're so good.
We got almonds. People are stuck on the almonds. They're the first to
Love that.
bloom.
Yeah.
Love it. Yes. And Erica says that almond trees are the watcher trees because they're first.
Mhm.
Maybe that gives them some kind of authority.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because everyone's eyes are on the almonds, because when they start blossoming, that's the cue. Cue the music.
Yeah.
Someone's trying to
Yes.
eat their lunch. Okay, good. Worm story. Oh, I see. Gross. Yeah.
Sorry. Dead worms and eating lunch, maybe not a good combo. Um, Amanda says, since they were bringing the linen and goat's hair, could they have been dyeing them themselves? I believe so. I mean, they were dyeing them with this red dye, and they were the skins were dyed. So there's a whole nother teaching on that. Like the
Yeah.
goat skins had to be dyed scarlet, and that's because of how did that happen? Because through the death of this worm. I mean, that's a whole other teaching, right?
Ooh,
That'll preach.
Sally said, my big aha moment was the lamppost is the menorah. I just never put it together. I'm a newbie. Sally, we're all newbies.
Yeah.
Isn't that so great that the
Yeah.
lamppost? And so when you think of that, the light that reflects from the menorah, the light that was shining and the light that was shining out.
Yes.
So thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. So now all of a sudden the scriptures just start
Hyperlink.
flowing in it is hyperlinks everywhere. It's little blue hyperlinks everywhere, because he is the light. And and when we walk with him, what is it, First John, Second John, Third John? It's in the John somewhere. It says that when we walk in him, there's no darkness at all, right?
Mm,
When we walk in the light as he is the light, then we're having fellowship with each other, right?
yeah.
Isn't that so beautiful? So all of a sudden, when we see that the lampstand is the menorah, when we start seeing that, when we start seeing that it's his light that is shining, that and with the oil, because the very first verse of this Torah portion is talking about it, and we just skip over it so quickly. It's talking about bringing the pressed oil. So there you go, bam, and you might not ever even make it to chapter 26.
Because you're still on pressing the oil. So you're just there, right?
Right?
I love this. We have verses like Isaiah 118. Come now, let's reason together, says Adonai. Though your skins be like scarlet, they will be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they will become like wool. You see the linen, you see it flapping, you see the contrast. You'll see the tabernacle totally different. Psalms 22:6 says talks about worms. Um,
Oh, Erica has a good one. When Yeshua was on the cross and said, my God, why have you forsaken me?" It was a hyperlink to Psalm 22.
yes. Oh, I love that.
And Amanda said, "Isha, just stop." Yes, exactly. So
Right?
really, Ishas and sisters for the word together. It's the imagery. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. I love it.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm going to tell you, Sally, I'm stuck on the menorah too a little bit, but
Yeah.
my dig in that I want to do if the Lord will, if I have time, if whatever happens, however happens in the next 24 hours, I want to dig into like there's all the little cups. It's not that are on the
Yes.
menorah. So I don't know why for some
Yes.
reason that popped out off the screen, off the pages
Yeah.
to me this time is that
Yeah.
there's like, I don't know, there's a lot. There's a lot of cups, like 20, I mean 30, I don't know. There's these little cups that go up the branches of the menorah. So I mean, I feel like I have to call Dr. Holisa. Hey, sister,
We should totally do that.
we need you
But
to tell us about the cups. It may be
yeah.
a week long dissertation, but I think I need it for some reason.
Yeah. And what are you storing in your cups? Because you are the light of the world, right? So what are you storing in your cups? What are you housing in your cups that's going to flame
Mm,
brightly?
yeah,
What are you housing? How are you housing that oil?
that's good. Mickey, thank you for that. She says one of the things that made me want to join the cafe was the Blue Letter for Dummies video. You were so kind and really helped me understand without making me feel like a dummy. We love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yes.
That's what we love about our calls now. Now we don't, instead of crowding with a ton of courses, we switched it to do a bunch of calls.
Yeah.
We've had fun. Like we think, like I told you, that adoption and fostering call I thought was for, I mean, Kathy, you were on there. Did you like, oh wait, that was for me about my orphan heart. I'm like, now
Yeah.
there's one more I gotta watch because I thought it was just gonna be for people wanting to foster kids. Pietra, you were on there too, weren't you? Were you on there with us? I can't remember. No, it's too late for you. Oh, that's right. It's South Africa. Ugh. Rewind. It'll make sure it gets posted today. Gosh, there's so many courses. I'm so excited. I mean, calls. What else, you guys? Anything else as I'm missing? Okay, Pietra says the ladies in South Africa desperately need the other Ishas to link with us. The women here are going through a lot. Oh, Father, we just thank you right now. We thank you for the ladies in South Africa. I thank you for the wisdom. I thank you for strength. I thank you for rising up a joy unspeakable. I thank you that your joy is their strength, Father, that as they walk through each day, government issues, restriction issues, I
Yes.
mean, Lord,
Yes.
shipping issues, like everything
Mhm.
is hard. It's like walking through mud. Father, I just thank you right now that you're lifting the oppression. You've heard the cries of your sisters. I thank you right now, Father, that you are giving them so much joy, that you're going to replace this sorrow for laughter. Father, I ask right now that every woman hearing this today, Father, that there's something that rises up inside of them, that they remember to pray for their sisters in South Africa. They remember to link arms, that they are not alone, that we surround them, that we love them.
Yes.
Thank you, Father, as your spirit pours into each one of their homes. Revive them, Father, that they're not weary in well doing. Revive them, Father, revive them.
Yes.
Thank you, Father.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Father.
Yes.
Gosh, there's so much good stuff. Gosh, Mary Catherine says, makes me think of when Israel was as a unit walked around the wall 7 times before it fell. Joy. Creation gospel plug, hashtag. Yeah. We are not, we are not official sponsors of the creation gospel. We are
Mm,
just love it or hate it. We
yeah,
don't know yet
we love
still.
it. Love it. It's messing me up. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's hard. We'll just say it's like a college course. So, um, so much stuff, guys. You know what? There, just keep it coming. I really
Yeah.
want to encourage you guys to head into the Portion Facebook group and just post your things for your sisters. And please
Yes.
reach out to the ladies that are again
Yes.
each other, embrace each
Hmm.
other. I kind of reached out and asked you guys to link arms with someone. Can I ask you to do that again today? When you have this
Yeah.
picture now, would you go in and just pick someone? Ask the Holy One to just have someone spark your heart. It might be someone. Look, click the members up in the portion. Don't necessarily pick somebody who's talking all the time because they not that they don't need help, they don't need a sister unless the Holy One tells you, but ask him to show you someone that you just reach out and say, hey, hi, I'm Caitlin. Just want to say hi. I want to link arms and say hello to you because you are, I mean, there's over 1,200 of you. Pick a person and then you each have at least one person that you can link arms with and pray with. And then next week, pick another person and someone will respond, someone will attach. But I just ask you to pray about it because I feel like so some of you are on here because the Holy One told me pick her.
Right.
Going into some crazy groups or other groups that are on Facebook. And as I walked in there, or as I go into that group and I pray, Father, where is she? Who needs us? Who needs us? Who can we serve? And he'll show me, pick her, grab her, get her. So thank you for those of you who actually answered my private message and for that you're here. And I ask you to do that with each other. Link arms. Link arms. If you're introverted, I know this is so hard, but she needs you. Other people need your gifts, even if it's just you think it's insignificant. They need you.
Mhm.
Maybe you are quiet, but you pray. You can pray for someone. Then reach out, do a post, and say, "I'm really introverted. This is hard for me to say, but I'll pray for you if you have a request. Please let me know." Reach out to each other. That's all I got.
Yes. Amen.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So can we just like overview again, just you guys, this time in the Torah, what we're learning in the Torah is we're being given an overview of the immense love of the Holy One for his people. And he's saying, I want you to know me. He didn't just draw us out of Egypt. He drew us out of Egypt into the wilderness so that we would know him and we would hear his heart and know his heart and be prepared for what was to come.
Yes.
He gave us his words. He's giving you his words right now to strengthen you, not to beat you down, not to make you feel inadequate, not to make you feel like you can never measure up. That's not what that is. Being yoked with Messiah truly means that he carries the heavier burden. Truly means that his skin is what's clothed. How do you get to the Father? You can't get to the Father. You'll die if you get to the Father, right? If you stand in front of the Father, you die, right? Because he is so majestic and so beautiful, and he's flames, right? But the skin of Messiah, that's what he's cloaking us in, so that we have access. And he's saying, I've got you. It's like the yoke. He's got the yoke. He's carrying the heavy part of it. But he's saying, it doesn't mean that he's going to carry us on his back. It means that we're going to walk next to him and we're going to learn how to do this because we're going to shadow him. That's what this is all about. It's about us learning how to shadow him. And we do that imperfectly. We all do it, but we all have a part of it. So if we can just keep what's happening, if we can just grab a hold of one another and walk with each other, it's all going to be good. Piece by piece, okay? I am being called by my grandson.
So I'm really am Charlie in
Sorry.
his Yeshua. I'm like Yeshua in his Charlie suit. Like that's, you can say that, because you're clothed. Yeah. You guys, we love you so much. And It's not too late if you're listening on Facebook. Jump over here. We're going to do our after party for a little
Yeah.
while. I don't know how long we keep Brenda. She's got babies knocking at the doors, so
Yeah, actually,
she
like
rarely gets them.
banging.
So,
I haven't seen him in 4 months, guys. So
yeah. So, but we love you. Be
we love
blessed, Father.
you.
We thank you. We ask that you surround these women. We thank you that you ignite your word in their hearts. Thank you as you're vibrating your spirit, that their DNA is coming alive. And as you've written this word, as you've tabernacled in them, with them, you show them the areas, Father, where they can bring that into their homes and their communities. Thank you, Father, for your joy and your peace that you're bringing this month of Adar, the joy that's come in the morning. Thank you, Father. We just bless you, bless you, bless you. Amen.
Love you guys so much. And I'll see you next week. All right.